As you can see, we are again in Borlo for the Ici Otarie Walk. I'm going to film all the displays on the route, so I hope you enjoy it.
It's Saturday, November 22nd, and the temperature is currently -4 degrees Celsius. We gathered at the Winter 1944 Museum, where the participants were loaded into World War II trucks. These would take them to the secret drop-off point where they could begin their journey. Two routes have been mapped out with distances of 8 and 17 kilometers. Several World War II displays, including reenactors, are set up along the routes. We, reenactor groups Kampfgruppe Böhm, Sanitatsabteilung 352 and Volksgrenadierdivision 352 have gathered here this morning so we can drive our World War II vehicles to our display location. On the way we passed the display of our German comrades at the museum Im Haus 1942, but I'll visit them later in this video. Once we arrive, we rush to set up our displays. The Panzerabwehrkanonen 36 is strategically positioned to guard against any approaching enemy. The truck is unloaded and the DRK first aid station is set up. After our display is set up, we head to the first display. A 50 cal is positioned behind the sandbags. The M2 machine gun, or Browning .50 caliber machine gun, is a heavy machine gun that was designed near the end of World War I by John Browning. This World War II US display is set up by some friends. They depict some US GI with their priest. You can see his altar on the left. We can visit the next display on foot, because it's not accessible by motorbike anyway. And because it's within walking distance of our display. Here, 3 friends have dug their foxholes with their depiction of the US 104th Timberwolves. The 104th Infantry Division sailed for the Western Front on August 27, 1944, and it landed in France on September 7, 1944. The division then organized and assembled at Manche, France, before heading into combat. Now we go to the German displays of the groups Kampfgruppe Böhm, Sanitatsabteilung 352 and Volksgrenadierdivision 352. The display setting is German troops are retreating and are currently seeking shelter on a wooden road from overflying Allied aircraft. Here on the left of the road, very well camouflaged, there is a Panzerabwehrkanonen 36, a 37mm caliber German anti-tank gun, positioned. Arranged in such a way that any incoming enemy troops can be eliminated. And a little further on, my DRK BMW R71 motorcycle with sidecar. The Citroën U23 troops truck is also camouflaged. On the right we see an original Zundap DB200 motorcycle from 1938, and behind it a working original German World War II searchlight in camo paint. The Funk items are also on display, because communication is very important at the moment. On the little stone wall is an original working Torn EB, a receiver from 1937, placed. Today I've set up a small DRK first aid post, so that the wounded can be treated as we stand during this retreat. And our last vehicle is also a BMW R71 motorcycle with sidecar. In the far back, a granaatwerfer 34, so a 8 cm mortar, has been set up. Under the camo net, we've made a place where we can rest, eat and warm ourselves at the fire during these freezing temperatures. During the day, we were in contact with the HQ at the museum Im Haus by messages which we either brought or picked up by the two German kratmelders.
Ja, dat is niks, hè. Als je mocht klikken, dan is het helemaal te ver.
Now it's time to visit the next displays. First stop is at the Bastard Battalion. This is a roadblock / checkpoint and small commando post of the 307th Airborne Engineer Battalion of the 82nd Airborne Division. We're on our way to the museum Im Haus 1942. We drove past them this morning while we were on our way to our display location.
7 alsjeblieft. Dat is geen 10, zo'n Gilbert.
Im Haus is a new kind of World War II museum that you won't come across anywhere else. You will get a personal tour inside the museum and see with your own eyes the history of World War II in authentic displays of that time period. Experience an air ride inside a bomb shelter and listen to the stories told by the owner himself. You will feel the history coming back to life. The main theme of the museum is therefore living history. Not only is the museum open to the public, it's also display for reenactor groups die Klughafte-Division and Sanitatsabteilung 71. But now it's time for waffle and some hot chocolate. After the delicious waffle and hot chocolate, it's time to drive to the next display, the Church of Borlo. You can already guess what kind of display you will see. Looking at the signs, we're entering the 48th Aid Station / Fieldhospital. Welcome to the display of the Holmes Intelligence Office, a reenactment group specializing in the medical services of the Allied forces during World War II. You might recognize them from my previous video at Camp Liberty Sun. And they brought the beautiful first aid case today.
Dat is de hond die dat bij ons leuker vond dan bij de Duits. Ja. Maar ik dacht dat het Reinhard was voor de hond.
They still recognize Ragnar, it seems. Before we drive back to our display, we drive by the Winter 1944 Museum, which is located a little further away. After the last participants passed, it was time to break camp, load the truck and move on at dusk, out of sight of the enemy. I like to thank the organizers for another fantastic event at a new location for us. I hope the people who participated in the walk are just enthusiastic about this event. Bis nächste Mal. Tschüss! Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and hit the bell button.